We're the Mississippi Municipal League. We're the official association of Mississippi cities and towns. We lobby, do educational work, we do technical support. We're a big networking group for Mississippi cities and towns, and we serve on a lot of state boards and committees that involve municipal issues.
Call the opening session of our annual conference in order, and I'm going to ask you to stand as our second Vice President, Tim Waldrop, gives the invocation. Remain standing as the Biloxi Fire and Police Departments bring in our colors.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's a great celebration every year of over 3,000 folks that are municipal leaders and exhibitors and those that are interested in municipal issues. We have a huge number of hours of education. We do some business that the league's doing, and we network with our fellow elected officials. There's a lot you can garner out of just talking to your fellow elected officials about issues that you have. They perhaps have had some of the same issues and have some solutions, so it can be a very rewarding experience.
We're needing the ability to tax ourselves. Our citizens do not have the ability to impose a tax on themselves for projects that they want to get done. So we'll be fighting in the legislature again this year for the municipal option sales tax.
Give us an example of how that could be used to benefit everyone.
Well, for instance, if your community wanted to build a community center, you could place a 1-cent sales tax on yourselves, and then your people could vote on that to make sure we all wanted it. So they would vote at 60%. They would say, we're going to build a community center. You would use that money. You could probably pay off the whole community center in 2 or 3 years, and then the tax is gone. And that's the way the law would read. You can't just keep extending it. It would be over. And the community center is built, and you didn't have to pay a bunch of interest on it, and it got built right now, and it's something that people want.
Have you seen a support for this throughout the mayors throughout the state?
There are very few mayors who don't want that ability. And it's not that we want that ability, we want our citizens to have that ability. Anytime you can give the power back to the citizens of the state, that's where it needs to be.
The present situation now is that we are not allowed to have a referendum among our citizens to vote for an optional sales tax for different projects. What we'd like to do is get the legislature to pass legislation to allow our citizens to vote on whether it be projects or a project, to pay for that with a local option sales tax, and then once that project is done, that tax goes away, and if they have another project, that the citizens would vote on it again. We think this initiative is something that really is to the heart of what our democracy is all about, allowing our citizens to vote for their future.
What type of benefits do you see this having?
Well, I see tremendous benefits. If you're doing a project, for instance, a new fire station, a library, or new roads, it creates jobs, it creates additional sales tax that would go to the state of Mississippi, which would help their budget. It's just overall, I think, a very positive situation for the entire state.
One issue particularly we were just talking about in our North Mississippi Mayor's Association meeting was the unfairness of the no sales tax on internet sales and how the loss of those sales tax receipts are hurting every city in Mississippi, and so we're trying to get our congressional delegation to get on board with that legislation.
And what are you looking for? What's the answer?
Well, I think the answer is just a fair tax sent to each of the states based on internet sales so that we can continue to have fire protection and police protection and schools and roads fairly distributed among the retailers, whether you're an internet seller or an in-city in-box seller.
What does the loss of sales tax revenue due to citizens buying purchases off of the internet? What does that mean for municipal government?
Well, it's a shrinking pot that makes a huge difference. You know, we've got people that come into our cities. They'll try on a coat, make sure they got the right size, the right color, and then say, "Well, thank you very much. I'm gonna go home and buy that off the internet and save the sales tax." So, you know, that's one less teacher, one less policeman, one less fireman. You put that all together, it's really hurting the cities. They said last year Christmas sales for internet sales were up $20 billion, whereas same-store sales were up 1%, something like that.
And all that translates to less money for municipalities.
Absolutely, it just translates to less money for municipalities to have to run an effective government that citizens need and want. It's you know, fix the potholes. It's take care of just the basic needs that citizens are interested in.
Our biggest issue is the budget. How are we going to raise revenue and maintain a decent tax base for the community and accomplish some things as we move forward, trying to grow our city. We're trying to grow, but you're going to have revenue, income to help do that.
What would you like to see happen? What's necessary?
An increase in business, which we're pushing. Some new manufacturing in the area, I think we're pushing also. And also there's going to have to be some tax revenue increases. Nobody likes taxes, nobody likes the fact that, but to build revenue in our areas is sales taxes and it's ad valorem taxes. Those are the two major drivers. And if sales tax is going down, there's no other means except we start cutting services. And nobody wants services cut today. A city that's cutting services as a whole are cities that are looked upon as they are dying. And we don't want that message. Philadelphia is growing. We hope to continue to grow. And we're here with MML to learn more about how to make it grow even better.
The economic downturn and this recession that we are in, jobs and the unemployment rate. In my particular area, we are the, out of 82 counties in the state of Mississippi, Holmes County is ranked number 82 with unemployment. And I think that with these tough economic times, people needing work and the lack of jobs is one of the worst issues that we're facing in our state as a whole.
The basic problems that we have or challenges in our community is the same all over the country. Infrastructure is getting old, and a lot of that's not seen because it's under the ground with water pipes and with sewer pipes and so forth. So rebuilding America is a quest, and it begins right in our hometowns. So it'll be tough to resolve the broken pipes and the infrastructure needs. And we're seeing most of our money now being spent on national defense. If we can get out of the desert and continue to spend that same money on rebuilding bridges and roads and infrastructure, then I think we'll take our communities forward.
What kind of infrastructure needs have you seen in your city?
Well, in our city, 7 years ago, we had a major hurricane. And so a lot of our infrastructure right along the beach for the first 500 feet was completely torn up. But that's been rebuilt through federal programs with FEMA and with MEMA, our Mississippi group. And so we've come back in that zone. But when you get off the beach a little bit, some of the older stuff is in need of repair. And that's the same true all over the country.
I think the number one issue in Mississippi still is education. It's almost gotten to be a a crazy word. People have heard it so much, but education is the key. Unless we can train our young people to do worthwhile jobs, to be able to come back and work in the community, we're going to die on the vine. So one of our efforts in Greenville is to work very closely with the school board, try to help the schools achieve what they can possibly achieve, and do some innovative programs within the city to make the schools better. So we're doing that. The other big thing that we just talked about in a meeting recently is the PERS retirement, Public Employees Retirement System. The cities in Mississippi are paying 14.26% for every employee we have, and that is way out of line nationally. The employees paying 9% of their income, we're paying 14.26%. That's almost 24%. The national average is 11%. So we're going to be breaking some communities if we don't do some revisions on that in the legislature. And I've talked to some legislators, and I think they're very open to discussing the situation. We don't want to penalize anybody, but we cannot continue like this, or PERS is going to be broken and the cities are going to be broken, and a lot of people won't have any retirement benefits. So that is really the big issue, I think, right now.
One of the biggest issues facing the city of Columbus at this time is infrastructure. And when I say infrastructure, it's from paving, drainage. Those are some of the priorities that we're facing, not only in the city of Columbus and other municipalities across the state of Mississippi, as far as coming up with the funding mechanism to do milling, paving, and also from the drainage standpoint. Those are top priorities in the city of Columbus.
What would you like to see happen? What's necessary?
I wish there was some grant money out there available for municipalities to where it could be an assistance from what collected from the tax base that would assist the municipalities. We was fortunate as far as our main street for about a 5.2 mile stretch here a year ago, to where MDOT spent about $5 million on assisting us with paving the main street in about a 5 mile stretch. So that was a big plus for the city of Columbus.
One thing we just addressed in our Delta Mayors Association meeting was dilapidated properties throughout the Delta. And, you know, we have many of those, and we've just met with the Secretary of State's representatives, and they are now going to provide us some help with that. That's really going to be something that everyone can be just proud of for upcoming future, getting rid of these dilapidated properties and being able to put them back on our tax roll to create revenue. So that is one big item that was on our list, and so thanks to the Secretary of State's office, they've addressed that, and we see hope in the future.
We have some fiscal responsibilities that sometimes are very difficult to achieve. You know, we have dwindling in tax base. Although in Hattiesburg, you know, our retail sales is robust, but like other cities with the downturn in the economy and the housing market, our ad valorem taxes are not quite where they should have been. And so we have some opportunities there to try to move those back up so that we won't have to tax our people even more than we have.
The MML flag, helping cities and towns excel. Police Chief Ben Schuler. Chief Schuler is carrying the MML flag in honor of Pearl Police Officer Michael John Walter, who was killed in the line of duty on May the 1st, 2012. Please join me in honoring all public safety officials who have died in the line of duty. Please, let's stand and give these heroes a hand. Algoma, where friends and neighbors are friends, Tom Weeks, flag bearer. Amory, developing the future, valuing the past, Alderman at Large Tommy Wilkerson. Baldwin, City on the Move, Callie Nelson. Batesville, bringing progress to North Mississippi, Clayton Sibley. Belzona, Catfish Capital, City Clerk Dolores Harris. Biloxi, a great city deal to offer, Sergeant Chris DeBach. Boonville, City of Hospitality, Alderman Mark McCoy. Brandon, City of Red Hills laden with golden opportunity, Fire Chief Rob Martin. Brookhaven, Homeseekers Paradise, Alderwoman Jerry Wilson. Brooksville, gateway to the Noxubee National Wildlife Refuge, Police Chief Reginald Adams. Bruce, where money grows in trees, Deputy City Clerk Janice Galladay. Byhalia by choice, Alderman Joe Tunstall. Byram, home of the Swinging Bridge, Alderman Teresa Marble. Calhoun City, home of Ace Cannon, godfather of the saxophone, Alderman Marshall Coleman. Canton, one people, one voice, one goal, Mayor William Truly Jr., MD. Carthage, the city with a square well-rounded, Alderman Britt James. Clarksdale, keeping it real, Mac Crank. Clinton, history, pride, progress, Alderman at large, Jehu Brabham. Collins, come grow with us, Mayor V.O. Smith. Columbia, city of charm on the river, Mayor Reed Houston. Columbus, the friendly city, Police Chief Selvin McQueen. Corinth, history is only half of our story, Street Commissioner Jim Bynum. Crystal Springs, as refreshing as it sounds, Police Chief Carl Robinson. Decatur, committed to faith, family, education, Alderman Mike Anderson. DeKalb, Dynamite City of the South, Alderman Johnny Rush. D'Iberville, down home spirit, uptown style, firefighter J.C. Williams. Duck Hill, a place called home, Fire Chief John Bennett. Ellisville, living the good life, Fire Chief Ronnie McGilberry. Enterprise, capital for a day, Mayor Larry Murray. Farmington, the historic past is glorious, the present is heartening, and the future's bright, Alderman Johnny Potts. Forest, leading the way, Alderman Matt Alford. French Camp, a small town that makes a difference, Alderman Peter Pendleton. Fulton, we let our hospitality show, Alderman Hayward Wilson. Gaucher, nature's playground, Fire Chief Ray Fryer. Greenville, heart and soul of the Delta, Mayor Chuck Jordan. Greenwood, cotton capital of the world, Councilman Charles E. McCoy Sr. Grenada, the city that smiles, Superintendent Will Bradford. Gulfport, where your ship comes in, Councilman R. Lee Flowers. Hattiesburg, all roads lead to Hattiesburg. Marshall Bolton, Youth Council Chairman. Hazelhurst, Chief Byron Swilly. Heidelberg, dig deep, live well, Police Chief Huey Poe. Hernando, pride, potential, progress, Police Chief Mike Riley. Holly Springs, Mississippi's best kept secret, Mayor Andre DeBerry. Horn Lake, the greenest city in Mississippi, Fire Chief David Linville. Indianola, crown of the Delta, City Clerk Jane Evans. Inverness, where the songs of the cypress meet our Delta green pastures, Town Clerk Patricia S. Lockett. Iuka, gateway to Mississippi, Attorney Nathaniel Clark. Jonestown, redesigning our past by our present achievement, Alderperson Josephine Brown Crosby. Kilmichael, the town that cares, Alderman Charles Austin. Kosciuszko, Beehive of the Hills, Colby Ellis, President of the Mayor's Youth Council. Laurel, City Beautiful, Dennis Kevin, CAO. Lexington, a proud past, a bright future, Alderman David Rue. Louisville, Step into the Good Life, Alderwoman Gwinnetta Mays. Loosedale, the city where people and progress meet, Alderman Jason Martin. Madison, hometown Mississippi, Alderman Kenneth B. Jacobs. Mendenhall, home of the most beautiful courthouse in Mississippi, Marcy Gray. Mize, the little town with big ambitions, Alderman Michael Sullivan. Monticello, it just feels like home, Alderman Steve Mormon. Moorhead, where the southern crosses the Yellow Dog, Councilman T.J. Fairley. Morton, a little city with genuine people, Mayor Greg Butler. Moss Point, Alderman at Large Houston Cunningham. Myrtle, big enough to help us, small enough to know your name, Police Officer Rob Anderson. Natchez, oldest city on the Mississippi River, Alderman James Ricky Gray. Nettleton, city on the right track, Alderman Larry Guest. New Augusta, the town with a new beginning, Mayor's Youth Council, Madison McClendon. Newton, a small little great town, Police Chief Harvey Curry. Okolona, the little city that does big things, Councilman Bennett Moore. Oxford, culture and commerce, Alderman John Morgan. Pace, a small town with a big future, Alderwoman Tashunda Brown. Pascagoula, Mississippi's flagship city, Councilmember George Wolverton. Pass Christian, nature's gift to the Gulf Coast, Alderman Joseph Perinas. Pearl, a city creating its own future, Fire Chief Carl Kibbe. Pelahatchie, a place to prosper, Alderman Michael Adams. Picayune, New South, Old Charm, Captain Chad Dorn. Plantersville, if you don't love us, you will, Kristen Montgomery, Youth Council President. Pontotoc, land of the hanging grapes, Fire Chief Lance Martin. Poplarville, blueberry capital of Mississippi, Fire Chief Michael White. Prentice, the nature's choice, Mayor Charlie Dumas. Purvis, friendly city in the Pines, Police Chief Richard Gibbs. Whitman, a great place to live and visit, Alderwoman Betty Foley Thomas. Richland, an excellent choice and proud to call it home, Alderman Robert Kraft. Ridgeland, living right in Ridgeland, Alderman Scott Jones. Ripley, together building our future, Alderman Homer Richardson. Rolling Fork, the city where the bear sings the blues, Alderman Calvin Stewart. Senatobia, five-star city, Alderman Penny Frazier. Shannon, where good neighbors aren't hard to find, Alderman Paul Lyles. Shibuda, home of the famous artesian well where the water always runs cool, Kanata Carter. Smithville, God, family, spirit, country, Alderman Jimmy Dabbs. South Haven, top of Mississippi, Alderman George Payne. Starkville, historic Starkville, Mississippi's college town, T.J. Tate Youth Council. State Line, town pride focused on the future, Alderman Don Hinton. Summit, Police Chief Kenny Cotton. Sumrall, Mayor Geraldine Rayburn. Terry, a place to visit, a great place to live. Mayor Robert Nicholson. Tishomingo, Heart of Hill Country, Alderwoman Ann Taylor. Union, catch the vision of genuine Southern hospitality, Alderman Billy McCoon. Vaden, past helping the present build the future, Alderman Curtis Meeks. Verona, the little city with a big heart, it beats for you, T.K. Westbrook, City Council mentor. Walnut, come grow with us, Jeff Skinner. Waveland, Hospitality City, David Allen. Winona, the crossroads of Mississippi, Alderman Kevin Winbush. Woodland, the little town that can, Mayor Patty Watkins. Yazoo City, gateway to the Delta, Mayor MacArthur Strouder. Let's have a hand for your city flag. Thank you very much.
What are some of the issues facing the mayors throughout the state?
Well, certainly revenue as funds dry up the national level and the state level. So we're looking at optional sales tax perhaps next year that will give the citizens an opportunity to vote if they want a small tax increase to do a specific project. We're looking at a number of public safety issues. Those are beginning to emerge as we talk this weekend, but you know, things are tight in our cities and towns. Some cities are doing fantastic, others are doing a little less, but they're all looking at the budget, all trying to be careful, and our mayors and board members have done a terrific job dealing with some of the reduced revenues that they have. So know that they're working hard to keep the services and keep the cities running good, and I'm proud of them for doing it. This conference will help them do that.
If people have questions or like more information, what should they do?
Well, call our office. We've got a number of staff people, although it's a small staff in Jackson, Mississippi, and we'd be glad to either answer those questions or refer them to someone that can. www.mmlonline.com.